You've never heard the Korean language explained like this. Please watch the video until the end and participate in the comments.
무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다.
Did you watch the drama Squid Game on Netflix? This business card comes out in the drama. What does this mean on the business card? Circle, triangle, square? No, it means consonant letters in Korea. They represent the consonant letters of the Korean alphabet. Let's check it out together later in this video. Hello, my name is Ginny, and I am a Korean teacher. For this lesson, I will explain how the Korean characters were created. The Korean language is called Korean, and the characters are called Hangul. Simply think of Korean as English and Hangul as the alphabet. In your country, do you have historical records of who, when, and why your language was created? I will now explain to you the history behind the creation of the Korean language and the Korean alphabet, Hangul. Korea used a different language from its neighboring countries, China and Japan. However, there were no characters to express the spoken language for a long time. So, until the middle of the 15th century, Chinese characters were borrowed and used, and each character was pronounced by changing the sound of one syllable in Korean. By the way, not only the sound of words, but also the order of words in Chinese characters was different from Korean. For example, Korean sentences are arranged in order of subject, object, and verb, just like Japanese. On the other hand, Chinese is arranged in order of subject, verb, and object, just like English. There were no Korean letters. This is why Chinese letters were borrowed, but Korea had its own Korean language. Kings and nobles were able to read and write Chinese characters from an early age. But lower-class people, including women, weren't able to read or write because they were never educated. King Sejong, the king of the Joseon dynasty in the 15th century, felt sorry that people weren't able to express their own thoughts, even if they were the victims of bad things. So he decided to analyze other languages and create Korean characters that match the sounds of the Korean language. Then, how do you create characters that don't exist? What shapes would best fit the sounds of the Korean language? First, the basic vowels are modeled after the round shape of the sky, the flat shape of the ground, and the shape of a person standing. These are the three vowels. The vertical and horizontal lines are also the base. Small dots are placed on the right and left, and on the top and bottom. King Sejong created a total of 11 vowels. One of them disappeared in 1933 and now use 10 basic vowels. Next, the base 5 letters of the consonant were made from the shapes of the parts used to make sounds inside our mouth. The back and front of the tongue, the lips, the teeth, and throat movements are all used to create these basic letters. He also added lines from the base letter to create 17 consonants. 3 of them disappeared in 1933 and now use 14 basic consonants. Hangul is a Korean alphabet that King Sejong made in 1443 for the people to learn easily and use every day.
무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다.
The letters you saw earlier from the Squid Game were Korean consonants. OZM. In Korean, circles, triangles, and squares act as consonants. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of our video series. See you next time. Bye.